Everything you see doesn't really exist, yet it is here, because it is possible, shockingly true. In this episode we explore the void, the big nichts, level 6 reality and home of being 6. You will go through this realm eventually, and it can be a lot. So pay attention to me and welcome into Agora.
Of the majestic mountains of a noble culture stretches the Agora, safe haven of wisdom and a symbol of democratia. Here we will meet for transmissions from the sixth world. This is Aurad Zen.
In the last episode of Aurad Zen, we delved into the different levels of reality. We figured out what level 1, 2, 3, 4, up to level 7 even means. And we know that on this planet we are going through a big shift moment. It is quite obvious. People can feel what's happening on the planet. Reality has shifted like never before. But on the flip side of level 3 reality, there is a reality realm that doesn't really exist, yet it is there. We're talking about level 6 reality. It is the home of being 6. How can a realm that doesn't exist even exist? Well, we go into that today. Let's dive into the history. In the 1910s, 1920s, in Germany, scientists have figured out that the underlying nature of the universe, there is a gigantic field. A field that is building everything in the universe. It is a field full of potentials. It is what we call the quantum field or level 6 reality. It is also called the Max Planck field. At this stage, the universe has infinite possibilities, infinitive energy. And one of the most interesting changes that we are going to see when going into a level 4 harmony planet, we will see that some of the conflicts that used to exist at level 3 consciousness, where people would have conflicts over resources, this is totally going away the further ahead we go into the evolution of the universe. Why? Because the universe is essentially infinitive. There is more resources available and there is more and more resources coming in all the time. So the idea of being a scarcity is just non-existent in the universe. Level 3 reality, as we've talked about in the very first episode of Aurad Zen, we know is the realm of the 3D. It's the realm of the material. But something that hasn't materialized may have their own story as well, right? It just hasn't started yet in the 3D realm. This is the realm of level 6. It is a realm that exists and that is alive, yet it has not yet been modulated. It has not yet been chosen for. As we learn and as we know in a quantum universe, states are happening until we actually decide for them. So once we decide for a state to come into our existence, once we've chosen for an idea to happen, once we've pulled it out of the infinitive possibilities of the universe, it becomes and materializes in our realm. That is something that we do with the growing All Shift Happily Now community, right? It means we see the outcome of the universe and then we find ways to navigate ourselves into that. That is creating time. It is creating timelines. It is creating the motion in the universe itself. But what exactly is level 6? Well, it is the underlying nature of the universe that the universe shouldn't actually be here. However, there's also possibilities. And these possibilities make it possible that life exists. Level 6 reality is also the realm of the grand death. See, we distinguish between a level 4 death and a level 6 death. A level 4 death is basically a continuation of your own story. As you've learned before in episode 1, you look into the mirror and you see what you are. And in that very moment you identify with that, and in that very moment a soul container is created. Now where is that soul container created? It is created at level 6 reality. Why is it created at level 6 reality and not in level 7 or level 5 reality? Well, the soul container is existing, But as long as you are perceiving that you are outside of that soul container, or not even connected to that soul container, not even realizing that you are collecting data from the universe and putting that into the soul container, as long as that is happening, the soul container is kind of unrecognized. It is only collecting data and over from lifetime to lifetime to lifetime. And again, we talked about that. The universe is a life continuation. So everything that divides the universe in different lifetimes is actually an illusion too. But in the very moment when you tap into your potential and realize that the soul container is there, in that very moment the soul container grows in evolution as well. And so do we. A level 4 reality death would be something where you choose to end a story that you've encountered at level 3 realities. Let's say you've been on planet Earth, you have lived your life as a human, and at one point you decide that you want to go on and live in the absolute infinity and different other places in the universe, just to collect new information about yourself, making new experiences too. In that very moment, the universe needs a logic to bring you from one point to another point. Now, you have two different ways to see that. You can either go from a level 3 reality realm or level 4 reality realm into another level 4 reality realm. We know these realms exist when we go into a dream state. That is a level 4 reality realm. But you also can go into this afterlife realm, in this experience that a lot of groups have looked into and see that people meet these other souls. They are at these parks, they are at these certain environments. People from the Western culture often meet Jesus. People from Asian cultures often meet different other entities, Buddhist entities, and so on and so on. There are beings in that universe that luckily create these continuations of experiences for us so that the universe does not take any damage, any trauma, anything, but just continues the story, but in such a way that it opens the gateways to go into a new experience. A level 4 reality realm is an experience where you can be reborn. It is something where you open a gateway. A level 4 reality realm, as we've said, is always a gateway experience. A level 6 reality experience or a level 6 death would be completely annihilating everything in the universe, including your own story. And it's quite possible too, because ultimately everything is that type of illusion. So the universe would just go into this complete darkness, into this complete nothingness, where at the same time it is complete light as well. So these things that in a level 3 and a level 4 reality realm we kind of divide from each other in order to limit the realms so that we can see, right? Light is a spectrum and we break that up in order to see colors. That's happening everywhere in a level 3 and level 4 reality realm. But at level 6, it's happening at the same time. Non-existence and all existence happens at the same time. And this state is where we are going to be at level 6 reality. It is a state where we are outside of time. It is a state where we oversee what's happening. It is a state where we're outside yet inside the full potential of everything that is. And it's very close to going to the next level of consciousness and reality, which is level 7 reality. Level 7 reality is another gateway, but it opens up in the very moment when we as the universe are in the state of nothingness, the realm of Shiva. In that state of Shiva, where we are in this continuation of meditation or this continuation of existing and non-existing at the same time, when we realize that we are still alive in that moment, in that very moment we open up the universe and we create something new. That leads to level 7 reality. And level 7 reality is a gateway experience just as level 4 reality is. And in that experience, we come up with a whole new constellation of the universe. Now we've already have a few takeaways that you should internalize into yourself. First of all, when you came to planet Earth and had this level 3 experience, looking into the mirror and realizing that you are someone, something, in that very moment you have a soul container created. You basically put all these types of experiences into your soul container until you realize that this soul container is actually your reality realm. So realizing that you as an entity are shifting towards level 4 consciousness, level 4 reality, something we create and something that we train beings in the All Shift Happening Now community. In that very moment, every other instance of your being is growing too. And here comes the recap. You exist on 3 levels simultaneously. It is the Holy Trinity that is explained and described in so many books. You have a body, you have a mind, you have a soul. Your body will grow into a more refined life form. Your body is not meant to be shredded off, something that you might hear from, certain texts and certain belief systems around the earth. It is way more important, and all these life forms that have gotten rid of their bodies have come back to this planet in order to restart some and regain some of their spirituality around their bodies. It is way more important to grow with your instances of self. So maintaining your body and building a connection with your body, and also teaching your body to grow, will also initialize a process of your soul container to teach yourself too. And if you've ever asked the universe for support, well, we are here. In the All Shift Happening Now community, we do that together. And there's nothing more beautiful and more accomplishing and satisfying than doing that in the universe as a collective. The universe is a feedback routine. It's one organism, but it loves each and every aspect when it's aligned so beautifully that cooperation is the key to progress in the universe. You can achieve things on your own, but together in such a beautiful All Shift Happening Now community, it's just so much better. And one of the reasons why it is so much better is at level 3 reality, remember, there are limitations. The whole universe in level 3 reality is built upon limitations by design. It is by design. Why? Because the universe wants to experience itself. It wants to know what it looks like. So it creates this artificial type of limitation so we can pick, we can choose things. And that is the beauty of level 3 reality realms. But it also comes with a lot of challenges because certain types of limitations are just not good. So you want to get rid of some of these burdens and some of these stories in order to feel lighter and feel more energetic, in order to go on with your evolution of self. And here comes level 6 into play. Realize that at this level the universe is infinite energies. It is possibilities over possibilities. It is the world of the quanta. Now, what is that? In physics, we see these little data containers, right? Very comparable to the soul container. It collects data just as much as your soul does. So the soul container is also a quantum phenomenon. But these little quanta are diving into that field at level 6 reality. The field of nothingness, the field of ever-existing potential, of infinitive potential in the universe. And it collects these little quanta, collecting all this information, coming back and bringing and implementing them beautifully. And the more we become aware that this process is something that we are connected to and that we can communicate with as everything in the universe, the better it becomes. Level 6 reality is also the realm of being 6. As you might be aware, in the 1930s, 1940s, Europe was at war. And the Germans back at that time, they were looking into possibilities to actually win the war in their favor. And Germany was one of the leading country in quantum physics. They were figuring out that there is some type of designer behind this veil. The veil that we are experiencing, level 3 reality, something is behind that has designed this world. And actually they were kind of right about that. You might call that God, but in reality it is a creative field that has set up, and an intelligent field too, and a field that is learning and improving over time as well. So the Germans tried to figure out how to communicate with that field and how to actually get this field or this creator being into being in their own favor. Little did they know that, of course, these beings at level 6 reality had no interest of influencing the war for someone's outcome. They're way more interested in harmonizing the universe. Because at level 6 reality, unlike all the other reality realms below that, the universe is 99.999% harmonized. There's only one grain of salt that is somewhere in the ocean of everything that is still not in harmony. And this can be an entity, it can be a being, but it's mostly because of the duality factor. So everything that is good kind of has an antithesis as well. You see, it can be highly complex, but the beautiful thing that the universe is doing here is healing itself. It is approaching and seeing what is that aspect that is still unharmonized. Also, by the way, as a side note, the word like in unharmonized or in unreal, that comes actually from a Germanic term, which also describes the realm of level 6 consciousness and reality. It is a realm of non-existence. Yet it is there. It is completely there. And it can be so powerful because certain experiences we can bring into that realm and just say like, hey, they might be possible, but myself is not experiencing that. That is the beauty of the division of the universe into identities, into selves. We are also, at one point, well, we also got to figure out that we're all responsible for the reality field, for choosing. So just as much as these quanta dive into that field and pick something up, well, we also have to learn that everything in the universe is an offer. And we can choose from that freely. It's a beautiful thing. It's one of the greatest honors and greatest joys in the universe, actually. Because it means that we get to design something beautiful. It is the most beautiful ride possible in the universe. Now at level 6 reality, beings exist. Reality realms exist. But they only exist in the very moment when we realize they are there. And we pull them in, we make them reality. So for all of us in the universe that we choose for being with being 6, which again is 99.9% of everything in the universe, and different traditions have different names. Being 6 was just the name that we've given in these programs. These beings have a beautiful story to tell, but we got to choose for them. And I get asked that a lot, like, Tim, why is being 6 showing up in a clear blue light? Well, the reason for that is that, again, that the universe has these different spectral colors. Depending if we see something going further away from us or coming closer to us, we either see a red light or we see a blue light. So when you go through the history of humanity, you will see that many different tribes, many different civilizations have had contact with blue-skinned beings. And a lot of people in our All Shift Happily Now community, they have intense dreams about blue beings being very nice, very beautiful to them. These are beings out of the being 6 family. In the previous version of the universe, many species had their challenges with level 6 reality. Why? Because level 6 reality completely stops the story. It makes you aware that nothing actually exists. And here limitations come into play again. Again, 95% of all limitations are actually good. There's a reason when you have your baby, when you have pizza These are good limitations. They make you feel something beautiful. For a lot of these species, it used to be very, very hard to accept that nothing of that exists, not even themselves. But in reality, it is quite the contrary. Because at level 6 reality, we actually learn that all exists. And that we freely get to choose from all of this. And the feelings, the emotions, and the value that we see in this, that is 100% real. So we also learn to enjoy the universe at level 6 reality. And before we conclude this highly complex episode of Aurad Zen, let's dive into a typical example of how a level 6 experience can look like. It can feel as if you are falling into nothingness, and falling and falling and falling. However, the beautiful thing is, yes, we are falling into nothingness, but we will never hit the ground, ever. And with that being said, happy shifting, everyone. Also, because many asked about this, Agora Zen is based upon our All Shift Happily Now Agora community. It is a beautiful place. It's a physical place where we meet online once a month, and you get to ask questions about all these different levels of reality, so you can be better and prepared for what's to come. It's so beautiful. It's a nice community, lovely souls. So if you want to join us there, the link is in the description box, and it only comes with a cost of 1 coffee per month. So what are you waiting for? I'm happy to see you there. All shift happily now.